Hello, folks. My name is Justin Race. I am the son of the king, Handsome Harley Race. You're watching Five Star Takes.
Hey guys, we are back after a little bit of a break. After our amazing interview with Justin Race, the guys and I just decided, you know what, we're gonna give ourselves a week off just to kind of come down and just be able just to kind of chill and reflect back on that awesome interview, which we're gonna kind of talk a little bit about here in just a bit. But I missed you guys.
Missed you
Aw.
too, buddy. What were you doing in the week off though? Were you? Looks like you were a guest on Whose Line Is It Anyways, and you were playing scenes from a hat. What the hell's on your head, buddy?
Oh, this whole thing? You know what? Let's roll the intro here, and then I will give you the story about that.
Does it hold Stormlight?
Oh,
Oh boy, here we go, guys.
Span read.
Hey, we are ready to rock and roll, and let's not waste any time. So you're asking about this whole thing I got on top of my head. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if some of you who watch this show, if you're familiar with my friends over at the Wrestling Nerd Broadcast, it's a show. They just celebrated their 200th episode. It's my friends Tom, Nick, and Dave invited me on their show for their 200th show, and congratulations on 200 episodes because that's
Hold on one second. Tom and Nick on the same show.
not that one.
Oh, it's not the okay. Never
Not
mind.
Tom and Nick Mysterio. No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Not
Never
Tom and-
mind. Sorry.
And
I got hyped up. I was like finally in the same place.
yes. But so I got invited on this show, and the reason why I went on the show is because I was cashing in a little thing called the Nerd in the Bank briefcase. Not too much different from the Money in the Bank briefcase that I won from a contest earlier this year. And essentially, the top prize on that show is the right to be called King of the Nerds. And I cashed in on episode 200. I didn't do it a la Edge. I didn't do it a la Seth Rollins. I did it the RVD, the John Cena way, where I called my shot. I said, I'm cashing in at episode 200. I'm taking the crown. And as you can see, that wasn't a prediction. That was a spoiler. Right now, I am the king of the nerds. And I'm gonna give these guys a little bit of shit because since I became king of the nerds, I have not received any kind of acknowledgement from them. They have not made any announcement about my winning the crown. So I'm thinking they're still a little butthurt over the fact that someone who's not even part of their show is holding their top prize. So
You
boys,
don't mess with DDJ when it comes to like
Yeah.
fucking
What
trivia.
was the what was give us a sampling of a question or two that you answered.
okay, so yeah, so we did a little bit of a trivia contest, which is a little bit different than from what they normally do. But I mean, it was I called the shots. I made it up. You know, I played my game. I played to my strengths, which you guys know is wrestling trivia. And I'm gonna give it up to Nick, who came up with the questions. There were 10 multiple choice questions, and there were some really tough ones, like ones that I didn't even know. There was one. There were ones talking about like I'm trying to think of one that I can give you because honestly I don't remember too many of them. But there was one about like someone who like there's never been a WWE champion that was born in the month of whatever, which I don't think either one of us got right. And then there was another one of the ones that,
October.
I forgot what it was and stuff, but I mean,
I'm saying it with enough confidence that it's
Yeah,
true.
I was gonna say I've been
You almost
I've been around shit long enough to know what it smells like, buddy.
but no, it was a lot of fun. I mean, in all seriousness, though, guys, congratulations on 200 episodes. They are really good dudes. You know, I'm happy to be a day one supporter of their show and stuff. And it's just, you know, I bet, you know, it's always a pleasure going on to talk with those guys and stuff. But you know what? They're not like you guys, man. So they're definitely not like you guys. But
it's like what is it? Kendrick Lamar said, "They not like us."
I'm gonna just go with that because I don't listen to Kendrick Lamar, so I'm just gonna go with it.
Oh, you're missing out, dude. He's a lot of fun.
You clearly don't remember any syrup sandwiches.
Dude, syrup sandwich is delicious.
So, speaking of other things that were delicious, man, how about our interview with Justin Race on episode 30? Which, by the way, thank you to everyone, you know, who watched that show, as it within a matter of hours became not only our most watched episode ever, but the most watched episode on the Shooting Shit Podcast Network. And that's just basically us and our friends over at Shooting Shit. I mean, and probably the single most viewed piece of video that I've ever uploaded to YouTube. I mean, it was an amazing interview.
Yeah, it was. I think I speak for Isaac and I when I both say that we were a little tentative just with our knowledge of Harley Race and you know, you knew that DDJ you know, a little bit going in, and yeah, no, it was very fun, you know, very informative, and you know, Justin seems a pretty fun, knowledgeable guy to be around.
Class A, very classy. And I think the thing that struck me the most, besides like just how graceful and how just, you know, how giving he was with his time and the stories, but like I think the thing that struck me was like he's probably one of the only wrestling kids in the fucking history of the business, right? Other than maybe like, I don't know, Jeff Jarrett and someone like that, who was on the road with his dad all the time, which is fucking crazy, especially
and I mean,
that era.
Yeah, and it was just, and it wasn't the best part about it was you know, it was, you know, they made sure he was still getting his education. Like they did it the right way. I mean, they took it. I mean, just all the stories, like, you know, that he shared with us, like, you know, being in the locker room with The Rock, you know, back in the early days, you know, talking about how, you know, how he, you know, his relationship with Andre the Giant, and just, you know, the stories about the junkyard dog from WrestleMania 3, and just, it was just, man, it's just, this is kind of stuff that, like, you don't really get to hear, you know. So I mean, and being the type of fan that I am, I was just in love with everything, because I love this kind of stuff, and that's why that's one of the reasons why I love wrestling as much as I do, is for like being able to tell stories like that, hear stories like that. And then the best part was, it was about a son talking about his dad, like, and stuff. So
yeah. No, it was yeah. I mean, a huge amount of fun, and you know, yeah. If you haven't checked it out, you definitely should.
Yes, please go back and watch. And even if you did check it out, go check it out again. And we're definitely going to have him back on a little bit closer to when. And if you listen to the episode, you know, he's talking about, you know, he's working on a book, and his mom, you know, Harley Race's wife, is also working on a book. So we're going to definitely have him back on as we get closer to the release date of, you know, both books, so he can plug them and maybe, you know, give us some other stories and that. So, but guys, we got a few things that we need to talk about, and let's start off by talking about a little premium live event that happened a couple weeks ago, called Crown Jewel. What do you guys think of the show?
I only watched, I think, the second half of it. Crown Jewel, I don't know, man. The whole Saudi shows still leave kind of a bad taste in my mouth.
Okay.
As far as just like, it feels like a house show that they're getting paid $500 million for over 10 years, and that they, you know, there's just, I don't know. There's something about it that every year feels like it doesn't matter in the least amount as far as storyline and any of that. And they sort of try and make that clear. And it's just it's like a weird thing. And then it's just like, I don't know, the Saudis are not generally the best
You know,
country in the world.
When a couple of years ago, when they first started doing these shows, I would agree with what you said 100%. But I feel like since they've been doing this now, because this is, I think this is like the
sixth year.
Yeah, because I remember they started back in 2018. The country, they've made a lot of progress in Saudi Arabia. You know, I mean, especially for, you know, from a woman's perspective, you know, because it was a while before we even got one women's match on there.
They haven't, though.
I mean,
I suggest. I suggest.
No, but the only thing I will say is that the deal, I think, only has another 4 or so years left on it, and the Saudis have no money left because they sunk it all into like Project Neom and all this shit. And so they're actually like in a really shitty financial spot right now. So I don't even see it like going forward after this $500 million contract is up.
Okay. Well, the one thing I will say that I will disagree with you on is I mean, back in the day I would have agreed with you, but nowadays I don't think of the Saudi shows as a glorified house show. Because there are progressions in these storylines. Like it's become more of a, you know, what these premium live events are always supposed to be, you know, culmination of storylines, continuation, maybe starting something new and stuff. And I feel like we're getting more of that with these shows now than we did back in the day. Like I said, when it was a glorified house show.
Yeah. I even still like with the new championships where it's like we're gonna find out who's the best, and then after it's like you guys keep them, we don't want them. We're gonna give them a couple rings and you can throw them in a vault.
Yeah, that's.
Can you imagine go ahead, Shane.
No, that's fine. I was just gonna say that's my biggest issue beyond any philosophical issues. I might share with Isaac in relation to this particular event. And DDJ, I didn't watch a second of it, but having watched a couple of them and obviously after the fact, I checked to see what happened and read an article or two on it just to get a feel for what happened. And it does seem like they are doing better. I also think it helps that Triple H is the guy right now, and he's just going to put on a better product, to begin with. But my biggest issue is that they're like in the end there might be some storyline progression, but there's never really any actual stakes. Every once in a while you might see a women's championship change hands or a mid-level championship change hands, and that's not to diminish the women's championship. That's not to diminish anything like that taking place. But when the main event of the show is always for some fake made up, belt or ring or 100-man battle royal for, a trophy or
just ancient wrestlers.
Yeah. It's just,
my biggest thing with the booking of this, right, is that they told us that it didn't matter from the get-go. Right, they're like the championships aren't on the line. It's just we're doing this because it's it's champion versus champion. We've made these titles, which I genuinely thought those belts looked dope. Like I
liked the belts.
I like those belts. Like those belts are nice. And then they're like they literally, I mean, it was like fucking Medusa on WCW. You know what I mean? It was just like, all right, we're done with it. We're gonna fucking throw them in the trash. Like, we'll see you next year.
Well, that's what they did with Braun Strowman when he won the Greatest Royal Rumble. Which, by the way, we got a shout out to them for coming up with the Greatest Royal Rumble because it provided us with probably the funniest Royal Rumble moment ever with Titus O'Neil when he literally tripped and slid underneath the ring.
So funny.
Yeah, I mean, and if he was like a couple inches over, it could have been really not the funniest thing that's
could have been not funny
in WWE history.
Yeah. So But
I have one more thing, and it's not related to this, but it's not something that we put on the list, but you just made me think of it, and that's we should mention Baron Corbin, because I don't think we've talked about that
Mm-mm.
since his
Yeah.
release.
And let me take the soapbox here.
Hell
Take the
yes,
soapbox.
go for it.
I have been a Baron Corbin believer for a very long time. Isaac, you know this. I stuck up for Baron Corbin when nobody else would, because I saw in him what I see in a lot of the undervalued pro wrestlers of all time, which is somebody that is
thank you.
willing to do whatever it is that the company asks him to do. And he's willing to put in, 100% of the effort, even if he gets shafted over and over again. I mean, that guy managed to get Happy Corbin over somehow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that sucked for him was that, like, when he was introduced, he was saddled with a gimmick that fucking just wasn't him. And as soon as he cut his hair, man, I swear to God, everything changed for him. Like, the moment he cut that hair, I was like, this guy, like, everything is like, okay, this feels more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He was always dependable in the ring, never excellent, but him in ring, to me, it was kind of like the Miz in ring. You know what I mean? Like what you're getting.
It's a great one-to-one comparison.
Yeah.
Just on all levels.
Yeah. And, he was also just coming off of really one of the best, if not the best run he had with the company as a whole in NXT. As I mean, he really, redeveloped himself. Both in another one-to-one comparison, I mean, his run, reminded me a lot of Dijak's run, where they both went to NXT and they both, were on these incredible hot streaks, and then they're gonna come up to the roster and then they just die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to me, he got a lot of, and he, for some reason, always got a lot of hate that I felt was unnecessary and unwarranted. Like, he was one of those guys
thing.
Dude, did you see what he said? Did you see what Kurt Angle said after that too? It was so sad. He's like, I feel like my last match didn't mean anything because of this. He's like, I didn't do anything with it. They did nothing with them, and they just released it. He's like, our last match, like my retirement match, it didn't mean anything. Well, that fucking sucks, dude, because he's like arguably one of the best technical wrestlers, the professional wrestlers we've ever seen.
But I also think on some level, all of the fans that were, I mean, giving Corbin go away heat because somebody else booked the match and he did his job. I mean, they really were giving him like, we don't want you in the company.
Well, Kurt loved working with him, and he said he was happy to put him over. He said that they just didn't do anything with him, and that's what pissed him off.
He's not wrong, because they didn't.
No, they did nothing with it, and that was another decision that I even tried to back. I'm like, look, if you piggyback off of this and then you start booking Corbin, it's going to make a whole lot more sense. You just have to start it now, and
they never did it. Yeah. Anyway, big loss, honestly, because he's always, he's always been dependable and a great guy, and it just sucks when you lose talents like that for no real reason other than there's not enough room for everybody.
There's not, and but going back to the the premium live event, I thought I watched the whole thing. I didn't watch it live because when it was going on, I was with my son, taking him to swim class and spending the day with him because he's having a little bit of a rough day and that. But I got home, watched it and stuff. I think for me, the show stealer of the night was that triple threat U.S. title match with Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, and LA Knight, and then that finished at the end with the blunt force trauma, that took them both out.
It was a great match. Legitimately a very, very good match.
But whenever we do a premium live event, we always make picks for the show, and we keep a running tally just to see how everybody's doing. And I have an updated scoreboard. Before we released it, I just want to say congratulations to Shane for running the table. We threw out the KO Orton match because that match never officially happened, so we just went off the 6 remaining matches.
And yeah, that was the biggest disappointment because that's where I started. I'm like, yes, I'm fucking all right, let's go.
And then you ended up with a pile driver on SmackDown, so
yeah. But
Shane
sold
the hell out of.
So Shane went 6 for 6. So and then Isaac Isaac and I both went 4 for 6. So Isaac actually scored over 500. So
I know, man, slowly creeping.
So here's the updated stats here. Shane cut.
Look how close I am.
Shane cut into the lead by cut my lead in half from 4 to now just up 2. And Isaac's
I'm 3 under there. 3 under 500, man.
So you just got to go 3 over for when we pick when we do full gear predictions on our next show.
Oh Jesus, full gears. Oh no. What about War Games? Are we picking that?
We'll be picking that as well too. So we got. But
whatever I do, no matter how well I do on War Games, I'm gonna fuck up the AEW show.
Well, I mean,
look at it this way: the Young Bucks won't be on the show, so you won't necessarily.
That's what I was just gonna say. Yeah, I mean, you'll have free will. I mean, you don't have to just immediately pick against Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks.
Yeah, they took their balls and went home.
I wanted to work from home, so
real quick before we got into other topics, I just wanted to bring up the fact, that went to Unsanctioned Pro again last night.
Yeah, tell us about it.
I mean, it was a fun show as always. This one was pretty darn packed. I don't know exactly how many people were there, but I would guess it was in the 150 region.
Okay.
It was a great fun night as always. Former Unsanctioned Pro champion Charlie Tiger got up on the top rope after the match and just spit straight up in the air and just all over me. And Wade.
Oh.
I mean, I couldn't move. I was definitely not in the total correct state of mind. So my reflexes weren't necessarily tippy top, but I just saw it all coming, and I was like, "Oh, it's in my mouth and eyes."
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah. But Charlie Tiger, being the nice guy he was, ran over to us afterward and gave us some free 8x10s. Sorry, I spit on you.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's cool.
Sorry, I spit on you. Charlie
That's
Tiger.
Cool. That's cool.
I mean, yeah. And obviously, like, I didn't care to begin with. It is what it is. I was just like, oh.
You've been to enough hardcore shows.
Yeah. Something that I do want to talk about with Shane here, and this is something that, I'm very excited for him for is, well, you know what? Talk about what your dad did for you. A little bit of a peek behind the curtain and stuff, because of what this could possibly lead into over next summer.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so...
shout out to Wade.
Yeah, shout out to Wade. Anyways, for people that don't know, my favorite band is My Chemical Romance. They've been my favorite band for a very long time. I have 2 tattoos on my body. One's a gay sloth, and one is the gentleman from the Black Parade album cover. They're going on tour. My dad, due to the fact that I was in between jobs for quite a bit of time, I'm down on my funds, so he was kind enough to purchase 2 tickets, for which I will be paying him back my half to the general admission pit at the My Chemical Romance show in Chicago, Illinois. So
that means be on the lookout for next was August, right?
Yep, next August. It's like the show is August the 29th. So if I'm in Chicago for a week, it'll be like the 2nd through the 29th and leave the 30th, I would guess. But
so there's a very good possibility that yours truly and Shane will be able to finally hang out in person.
Yeah, and then you need
I hope your liver can keep up, man.
Dennis, you need to be my eyes on the streets then, because Wade and I would really like to, if we can, and it's not. I'm going to be there for my cousin's wedding as well. That's why we might stay a week. So as long as it
Okay.
doesn't coincide with anything like that, Wade and I would love to go to a local wrestling show. So
Yeah, well, I'll see. Well, once we get closer, I'll see what's going on and stuff, because there's definitely plenty of independent promotions out there. Some really great ones out here, which is one of the reasons I love where I live, because I don't really have to go far to see a good wrestling show. I was originally planning on going to a show that happened this past Friday night with one of my promotions that I love to support, Chicago style wrestling, but I actually ended up having dinner with a very good friend of mine who I hadn't seen in a while. Was originally supposed to be myself, my wife, and my son, along with my friend, but the wife had something come up last minute, and then my son wanted to go to grandma's house. So it's just me and my friend, and it's a very good friend of mine who I met through I met her and her husband, who passed away. It'll be 3 years in January. Where I used to work for Best Buy, and they were regular customers of mine. They were one of, used to have a lot of people that would come in on Tuesdays, when like all the new, movies and stuff would come out. So I would see them almost every Tuesday, and I just got to know them, and they're just really wonderful people, and they actually came to when I got my wedding. They came when I got married, and stuff. And like I said, unfortunately, the husband passed away. It'll be 3 years ago in this coming January and stuff. And it's just, it was just nice to be able to spend some time with my friend who I don't really get to see that much and stuff. So that's why I missed the show. But do want to give a shout out to one of the best, one of my favorite people on the in the Chicago independent scene, and that's Conan Lycan for defeating Warhorse to win back the CSW Heavyweight Championship. And if you guys here, you two here, and anybody that listens to this show, if you're wondering who Conan Lycan is, go look him up on YouTube. And your first thing I said to myself, and I said this to a few friends of mine when I first time I went and saw him wrestle live, was like, why is this guy not like under contract to WWE or AEW? Because this guy is good.
Well,
wow, but who knows? Maybe
Could
with the
be.
new WWE ID
ID.
program.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude! I had the same boom.
Oh,
Fucking
that might win with our award for a segue of the year.
Well, every once in a
Oh.
while, when Isaac and I activate our half a brain cell, we get it going.
It's like fucking what is it? Captain Planet.
Yeah,
But
well,
with a brain
Hero.
cell. With a single thought.
No, it's like it's like a spanned read.
Oh my god, dude!
So
One
for
of those
those
little
of you
fax
who are
machine things.
unfamiliar with the WWE ID program, I'm going to read what's on their website about this and stuff. So WWE Independent Development, WWE ID, is designed to provide independent wrestlers a clear pathway to a potential career in WWE. Following the success of WWE's NIL program, which is the name, image, likeness, which is allowed, shout out to the NCAA for actually doing something about letting these college students get paid for the use of their likenesses.
Something, man. Jesus Christ.
WWE ID has been constructed to support independent wrestling prospects in schools with world-class training, development, and mentorship, in turn raising the profile of and strengthening the independent wrestling ecosystem. WWE will provide the most prominent independent wrestling schools in the U.S. with the WWE ID official designation, with the goal of guiding new trainees and existing talent at these select institutions with enhanced developmental opportunities. WWE ID will identify the top independent wrestling prospects with an official WWE ID prospect designation and support their developmental journey. WWE ID will give fans the opportunity to follow the paths of these standout prospects on the independent wrestling scene through curated behind-the-scenes content, as well as highlights and matches showcased across WWE's social platforms. And this is really big because, for those of you who've been watching our show, we're all big, supporters of the independent scene in our areas. I mean, to me, like I said, I've gotten to a point where these, WWE and AEW shows are so ridiculously overpriced that it's like, you know what? I'm perfectly fine just sitting at home watching, on pay-per-view, Peacock or whatever, and taking my money and plunking it down to go see guys like Conan Lycan, like Warhorse, like Maggie Lee, like
goddamn Mullet Man.
the guy that spit on Shane, all
Yeah,
these guys.
Charlie Tiger.
Charlie Tiger.
It's because
superstar.
it's just because
Manson.
these guys and men and women, they put so much into it. There's so much more, like with the independent. I mean, they're more interactive with the crowds and stuff. And to me, I think as much as we all love WWE and AEW, I think we're all in agreement that the independent wrestling scene is just it's great, and just for things like this,
It's the
this
best
is really
it's
cool.
been in our lifetime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I mean,
agree.
it's never been as just prolific, and I mean, it took a long time after Vince ruined everything for things to come back to life.
I mean, it also took a fucking worldwide calamity. I mean, people are just going out more now. I mean, I see it. I go to a ton of concerts, and shows are more packed than God I've ever seen in my life. Just on a consistent basis. I mean, I also think it helps that you're seeing more local shows willing to do things in weird spaces. Like Unsanctioned Pro runs like a dive bar pretty much.
Did that laundromat?
The laundromat.
Yeah, called Ace of Cups with the laundromat right across the street. I mean, they're willing to, book wrestling in these rooms where, in the case of Ace of Cups, it's right in the middle of campus. So
I saw that show at the brewery.
Yeah.
Which was fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, former guest on the show, Tony Deppen, has ran and I believe still runs shows at the the brewery that he helps operate. So
Mullet Man and Johnny Pierce, former guests, were at the show that I saw. Johnny Pierce is getting good, man. Yeah. He's gonna end up on that WWID.
And I think's rocking the Mullet Man tank top, and
I got yours. I'm gonna send them out. I'm gonna send them out probably tomorrow.
Yeah, so shout out to Mullet Man for hooking us up with our with some shirts that we'll definitely be proud to wear, not only when we record but when we're out there, because I mean and that's the thing, like these are the men and women, like you want to support these guys. Go to the merch stands, buy their t-shirts, get an autograph, just spend some time talking to them, because a lot of times these men and women,
that's where they get their gas money, man.
And I think I've told you guys this before, and I've told a lot of people this, but we're coming up, it's November, we're recording on November 17th, 2024, and it was probably a little over 4 years ago when I first started dabbling in the world of podcasting with my original show, What Do You Say with DDJ. And I think I may have told you two this, and I know I've told a few people this, but one of the reasons why I really wanted to get into it was because during the pandemic, I really, I had lost my job with FedEx. So, I was, trying to find something, just kind of trying to find something to do with my time until, I could find a stable job. And the next job I found, I tore my ACL twice after that, but that's another story. But one of the main reasons why I got into the world of podcasting was because with the, the pandemic going on, a lot of guys and, girls weren't able to work. And I kind of wanted to do my part to help them out by, just getting on a computer, recording interviews with them, putting them up on YouTube, just in the hopes that somebody from some other part of the country could see this interview with this person and be like, hey, I maybe want to do something with that person. Like, I wanted to be able to give these men and women, a chance to get themselves out there, maybe in a way, just so they could get themselves out there, because with the pandemic going on, it was so hard for them to do that. And that was like the reason why I got into podcasting. And I mean, obviously
we got into sort of similar. I mean, it was when we started doing Such Good Shoot, it was, it started out as we were all just sitting at home and we was like, oh, fuck, man, what else are we going to do? So in our spare time, we'd get together and get fucking sometimes more than half.
No, the disaster territory.
Just say half-baked.
Well, we would get pretty drunk. We get pretty fucked up on all levels. Yeah. But I think the thing that was really cool because it was like a very unique time to be a wrestling fan, because I don't think there was ever another time where you could send an email or a message to wrestlers and they would actually I mean, I think of some of the names we got on Such Good Shoot, and it was like it just had to be they were fucking bored and they just had nothing else to do, because I'm like, why else is fucking, like Tom Pritchard being like, yeah, I'll talk to you, or fucking like Al Snow or any I mean, it was crazy, but I mean, we
Yeah, we
talked to
could we could probably get Justin Credible to talk to us again.
Yeah, for like an Arby's milkshake and a fucking torch lighter.
But yeah, it's kind of cool to do that. But kind of going back to this WWE ID thing, some of the schools that they've partnered up with are going to be some of our, most of you guys may be familiar with just because of who's affiliated with them. I mean, we start out with Reality of Wrestling, which is owned by Booker T, Hall of Famers Booker T and Queen Charmel. We've got Elite Pro Wrestling Training Center, who for a destination for those in the Northeast. We've got the Nightmare Factory that's owned by Cody Rhodes, and I believe QT Marshall was part of it at one point. I don't know if he still is now that he's back with AEW, but we have them, and they've had guest coaches like
Big Justice,
John Cena and Sheamus. We've got Knox Pro Entertainment and Academy, which is was founded by Reno Black Pearl Anawai and Rikishi. So, and they're based out of Southern California. And we have, last but not least, we have Black and Brave Wrestling Academy, which is run by Seth Rollins and independent wrestling veteran Merrick Brave. And they're based out of Davenport, Iowa, which is only about like maybe 3 hours west of me. So
I think one of the first ones he mentions pretty close to me in New Hampshire, I think.
The Elite Pro Wrestling Training Center.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's in New Hampshire.
Okay.
Yeah, because I've heard some of the guys talk about it.
But I just like said, it's really cool that because you have your people that are coming in, like that weren't necessarily going through the independent scene. How they find a lot of they were finding a lot of these wrestlers like Tiffany Stratton, Kalani Jordan, Obafemi, who were Trick Williams, men and women who were doing gymnastics, Olympics, football and all that stuff, not necessarily going through the independent scene. So it's really nice that they're giving independent wrestlers, a kind of like, I guess, like a possible in as well.
Well, it's also, I think the thing, and I don't mean to cut you off, I just think the cool thing is the way they're going to be able to expose them so you can watch the growth. Like the whole idea of putting the matches on, social media, etc. is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's a great way for the WWE to do a couple things. One, it's a great way for WWE to kind of mold and shift the independent scene, in kind of ways that they might want it to go a little bit. Which is kind of the evil WWE. You know what I mean? I'm kind of talking about it. But I mean, it also allows, like you said, Isaac, for, these smaller towns to be shared across, one of the biggest social media presences, in sports at the very least.
It's more exposure. I mean, just like we were just talking about, and it's exposure from the place where, like, honestly, you need to you want to get the exposure from. I mean, no better place than the place you want to be.
And then you can also expound on this a little bit. One of the coolest things AEW does every once in a while is when they want to sign a guy or girl from the indies. They'll dispatch somebody every once in a while. I remember Darby did it for Nick Wayne, right? I think where he just popped up at some show Nick was working, and he was like, "Yeah, by the way, we're giving you an AEW contract." I mean, that'd be something fun, that you could do. Send, if there's somebody in Ireland, send
William Regal.
Yes, and William Regal, or send Finn. You know what I mean? And have one of them pop up. Hey, fella.
Hornswoggle.
Oh.
I Isaac.
Come on, man. We had him on. He was great. He did.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
Hornswoggle is a cool dude.
He
I've
played
had
a
the pleasure-
leprechaun in the movie Leprechaun.
He was
He
also
also-
the anonymous Raw GM.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he was also
it's
a leprechaun
hysterical.
called Little Bastard.
He
Oh
was.
yeah, the shillelagh fucking. Oh
let's-
man.
And let us not forget the instant classic he had with El Torito in WLC.
WLC is still probably the best match that's ever been fucking put on by WWE. Incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things that just had no right working. I mean, it's just the worst Vince idea of all time, but
it worked.
But they just did it. That's the thing. Is they committed. They committed to everything. Everybody in the match was committed, and boy, I mean, it's probably the greatest, at the very least, pre-show match in WWE history. It's got to be the best thing that they put on. You know,
a pre-show ever.
On a pre-show.
Yes.
God, yeah, because there couldn't have been anything from the Attitude Era on like a Sunday Night Heat or anything, right? That even came close.
No, because most of the time the Sunday night back in those days, the pre-shows were on like the TV Guide channel.
Yeah, and they weren't.
And for you youngins out there, TV Guide used to be how you would find out what time your favorite shows were on.
Yep, you could watch, but only depending on how close you were to the actual show.
Yeah,
you got like a 3-hour window, man.
Yeah, but no, like I said, and the best part about this WWE ID thing is I don't know about you guys, but I have not really heard one bad thing said about this program since the announcement was made. It seems like the majority of the people out there, everybody seems to be excited about it.
Yeah, I think there's the rabid AEW fans that are mad, but I think outside of that, I mean, it's good. Like, it's hard to be against something that's so good for pro wrestling in general, and especially for the talents themselves. Like I said, like that exposure is priceless at that time.
So we got a couple more things we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about War Games, and then we're going to talk about a little video that premiered on Collision Saturday night, and then get into some fun things. And we got a couple other little fun things planned for the show. But before we do that, I think it's time we take a quick commercial break and play you a little commercial from our friends over at Waukesha Sports Cards. Hey there, it's DDJ from 5 Star Takes, and when I come up to Milwaukee to see the Brewers play, there's one place that I always make it a point to stop at. Waukesha Sports Cards. Come on, let's go inside and check out what they got. Thank you. Thank you. Be sure to stop by one of their 3 locations or go to www.waukeshasportscards.com. And also, too, here real quick while I have it on, they do have a couple of public autograph signings that they just recently announced that, you know, if you're in the area, you may want to go check out. Both they're happening on. What's up?
Is this Bo?
Well, you spoiled the first one.
Hell yeah, I didn't spoil nothing.
But yeah, no, they are bringing in
You were about to say it. I was questioned.
Oh boy! But they are bringing in for a signing on Saturday, December 7th. They are bringing in Bo Jackson, former baseball and football superstar, the guy that knows baseball and
greatest
football.
athlete of all time.
And they're also bringing in the starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, who once again beat my beloved Chicago Bears on a blocked fucking field goal. They are bringing in their starting quarterback, Jordan Love, also on December 7th as well. So if you're a baseball fan, if you're a Packers fan, go to WaukeshaSportsCards.com to get all the details. But they will be having both of those athletes in on Saturday, December 7th. I will probably be up there for the Bo Jackson signing because I will actually be probably in the area with my nephew because we will be heading to American Family Fields for their annual Visitors Clubhouse winter sale where they have all their stuff on sale for like ridiculously cheap prices. So my nephew and I are going to go check that out. But yeah, definitely check them out, WaukeshaSportsCards.com. One of my favorite places in the world to go. So wait, when Shane gets back on camera, I'm gonna bring back something that we did a couple weeks ago with you, and you guys seem to enjoy. And that was I got this off of Chris Van Vliet's X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, and stuff, where he posts a picture and it's all these championship belts, and you kind of follow the line to see the order in which they were won, and you got to try to guess the wrestler who actually who this is about. So I got one here. I'm gonna put up here on the screen for you all. If I can find. Wait, is it? Ah, crap. You know what? I got to give me a second here. I got to pull it up real quick because I thought I had it, but apparently I didn't. But I will have it here in just a second. In fact, I've got it uploading to the studio right now. Just wait for it to come up here. It's uploading. Here we go. All right, guys. So you guys I'm going to put up the image, and then I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to think about who it was, and then we are going to I'm going to give you guys get one guess each. So here we go. Guess the wrestler. And just follow the arrow.
Started as a United States champion. And that's ECW tag team champions.
No, that's the ECW. I will help you with that. That is the ECW World
Oh,
Championship.
two-time ECW world champion.
So he started as a U.S. champ.
So that's TNA.
Yep.
And a 3-time TNA champion. What are the other TNA belts?
One is it looks like it's the X division. It looks like it's like the X division,
Yeah.
I believe, and another championship win. And then that led into another run with the TNA championship.
And then the IC title, 2 runs with that. Then the U.S. champion, 2 runs with the WWE championship, and then another United States championship run. Wow, this one's tough. Who the hell went to TNA, was champion there 4 times, at least.
The ECW is what I'm trying to.
Just keep in
And it
mind
must
too,
be that the WWE.
Give me.
That is also including. That could be, that also includes the
it has to be
WWE ECW.
Okay.
It has to be because of that
okay.
United States championship.
Can you show the picture for about 10 more seconds? Yeah, with that in mind.
In X division, so you can't be that big.
Not necessarily. Guys like Samoa Joe and Moose is who I believe is the current X division champion. So
2-time WWE champion.
Oh, I know who it is. I 100% know who it is.
All right, you go for it. I have no idea.
That's Bobby Lashley, right?
I think who's your guess?
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, it'd have to be.
Oh, you know what? I will. Here we go. Is it Bobby Lashley?
Yeah, Shane
That's
nailed.
who it was.
Makes perfect sense. You hit it right on the head.
Sorry about my absence. I was pumping my fist very heavily.
Yeah,
okay,
Shane.
We don't need to know exactly what you're doing.
He hit the parlay, man.
Yeah, no, I hit a particularly large parlay, Dennis. So
how much did you win?
$1,200.
Get the fuck out of here!
Wow. Yeah, and then I had my soul crushed earlier by the stupid 49ers.
Man, I placed one bet on the ladies fight, I placed the bet on the Tyson fight, but that was just like, for like a funness, like let's give it a shot. And that was Tyson wins by knockout after the 5th round. But that one definitely didn't hit. But I did place a bet on the ladies' fight that they would both get knocked down at some point in the fight, and then what's her name would win. And they neither of them got knocked down. But if I had fucking hit that one, that was a $2,500 win.
Well, so.
But she won the fight, which was ridiculous.
That was
Serrano whooped her ass. I mean, and to tie this into wrestling, watching a fight with Mauro Ranallo is always fucking awesome.
Dude,
and
he
I
looks
miss
like
him.
He's lost a lot of weight.
He has, and he's also like, it was really funny watching him talk to Rosie Perez because he would say something and you just stare at her, and it was so funny. Such a weird team, commentary team.
That's my biggest takeaway from that is poor Moro, because especially I don't know how it was before. The only fight I watched was Tyson versus Paul, but Roy Jones Jr. was absolutely insufferable.
He wasn't
I don't like looking at the leg,
but oh my god.
Oh, and then it got to the point where halfway through the fight, it was so boring that Roy Jones was just continuously pointing out that Tyson was gnawing on his left glove a little bit. And Moro was like, well, I'll have you know, I watched all of his fights leading up to, this fight in preparation. And it's a regular tick of his, Roy. It's what he does. And Roy's like, I don't like the look of it. He needs to stop it. That's weird. And then Moro's like, Mr. Jones, I'm telling you.
He's like, I don't want to fight with you, man. He's like, but you're wrong. Yeah, the best thing. I mean, the undercard, the 2 matches I saw were great.
Yes.
Both of them incredible fights. I don't agree with the decision on the women's match, although the welterweight match was fucking. I mean, just an insane fight that just kept going and going, and those guys. I mean, they fought to a draw, which is crazy. But yeah, the moment of the night was the when they had the interviewer backstage. It was Mike Tyson's son interviewing his dad, and he's like, "What do you see as the outcome?" And Mike Tyson's like, "Vicious victory." And then he gives his son a kiss on the cheek and walks away. He's got no pants on and he's just bare-assed. Oh my god, dude! I lost it. I sent Shane a video of it. I was fucking crying, man.
Well, social media was losing over the fact of the constant buffering and stuff. Which
the best was after that. Sorry, after that, they had I saw a meme of Mike Tyson with his bare ass in the ring, and The Rock holding Mr. McMahon on his knees. He has like the stink face.
For me, the best thing I saw from that was and I'll have to see if I can pull it up here while we're talking, but it was the video going around of whatchamacallit, like from the Bears game against the Commanders a couple weeks ago when the Bears lost on a Hail Mary, and they were talking about, because I guess the next big thing is that NFL games are going to be streamed on Netflix here coming up very soon, and and stuff. And they were basically going to right when the ball was tipped off the hands of the Bears defender, Tyreek Stevenson, and then just as about the guy, I can't remember the name of the guy who caught it for the touchdown, then they put the buffering circle on, and they were talking about how the NFL games are going to be on Netflix and stuff. And what a lot of these people who are freaking out about, what's this mean for when Netflix debuts on Raw in a couple months, is that there were, I've been hearing reports of over 250 million people tuned in to watch that. Obviously that's that. Let's face it, WWE is not going to draw anywhere near those kind of numbers for
absolutely
Monday Night Raw. So,
and we also, we also know that the WWE now has like over a decade of experience with streaming live events and getting those kind of issues out of the way, because it used to be an issue, and there
Well,
are
yeah, it was.
times when it is, and like
Well, there was like
but
when the network first came out, like the
yeah,
first like week or two was nothing but buffering on their on
but
demand
no,
stuff.
they've gotten a lot of those kinks worked out, especially. I mean, like very, very rarely do you have a premium live event on the Peacock or whatever where you have a buffering issue, and I don't see why you would have those on Netflix with that. I just don't. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
But
And stuff. So, but yeah, it was, for what it was. Like I said, I don't normally watch boxing and stuff, but it was something to do on a Friday night. And I mean, it wasn't like I was paying anything extra to watch the fight, because if I
that
was
was
paying
my
anything
thing.
extra,
Yeah,
if I was paying anything extra to watch that fight, to tune in just to watch Tyson versus Paul, I'd be really pissed right now and demand my money back, because it was. Let's just face it, it wasn't a very good match.
it was embarrassing.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to get upset about that. Like I said, and I'm not worrying about, what Raw it's going to be like for Raw and Netflix in January, because like they're going to get maybe 1% of what they drew for this fight in terms of people that are going to tune in to watch Raw.
Yeah, it's not an issue at all.
So,
but
so I know I showed you guys a little bit of this before we started recording and stuff, but AEW came out with I thought it was a really cool video for to hype up Full Gear, which is going to be happening on this coming Saturday. And for those of you who are were fans of ECW back in its heyday in the mid 90s, they always used to use the song November Rain by Guns N' Roses to promote their November to Remember, events, which was one of their big shows. And Tony Khan just recently acquired the rights to the song, and he used that to promote Full Gear. And I liked it. Like, I really liked it. I mean, to me, it was a great way for someone who maybe doesn't watch all of AEW stuff. I think it pretty much caught you up on just about everything, which a good, like, video package for a pay-per-view or whatever should do, is basically be able to catch you up so you know what's going on going into the event. And I mean, November Rain, while it's a very long song, I think it's a very good song and stuff. And I thought they did a nice job with it.
Yeah. I had not watched it up until we, before we got on. But yeah, I mean, like I said to you, DDJ, when we were kind of just chatting about it a little bit, it's cool to see AEW trying new things and,
Right.
being, generally successful, in doing them. I don't think that video was for me, so I'm not going to, shower with love and praise, but it wasn't a swing and a miss. So
it was really well produced. Like, they did a good job with it. It just yeah.
So speaking of things that aren't necessarily we're trying something new, we're gonna go back to something that we love on here, and I know it's Isaac's favorite part of the show.
Oh yeah, is it? You want to hit the?
Yeah, you know what? I'll just hit it.
Yeah.
It's time for Pics or It Didn't Happen with Isaac. Hey, that's me.
That's me. All right. This week, I'm not very confident in my pick, but I just went with somebody I don't know, one of the wrestlers I love more than most, and that's Minoru Suzuki.
I was going to ask, of all the people you could have, like, what made you think of Minoru Suzuki for this week?
I don't know. I was like, I was like, I wanted to. The first one was, I think I was going to do Bailey, and I was like, no, I've done there. I think I came up with like 2 or 3 that I've already asked, and I'm like, who have I not fucking asked that I fucking love? And I was like, oh, my dude, my fucking guy, the fucking man himself. The Chop Master.
You're not feeling too confident about it, though.
No, not this one. I mean,
what about you, Shane? What do you think? Do you think are you feeling confident about?
Have you ever purchased a fishing lure in your life?
I can't say that I have, because I'm not
confident.
All right, well, here we go. Picture didn't happen. Minoru Suzuki.
You know, Dennis, I gotta tell you, I'm kind of let down by the pick. You weren't matching his energy. I wanted to see you in full murder grandpa posture, attitude, and
I think I was
What-
just in awe of the fact that I was standing next to him.
Would you take a chop from him for the picture?
No,
oh, I
I'm not-
would. I would do one.
I
Yeah.
I don't know if just I mean that's just me and stuff. But I mean, you know what the way he is,
You let Jeff Jarrett hit you in the head with a guitar, man.
Did you see how flimsy and cheap that thing was? It was a real guitar.
It looked
Well,
real to me, damn
It's
it.
flimsy and cheap, just like Minoru Suzuki. That's right. We've moved on from being Isaac has moved on from being an enemy of Nick Gage, and now we're gonna
I
make
have?
DDJ an enemy of Minoru Suzuki.
Yeah.
God, no! I will never.
Yeah,
get on
Minoru, I
Suzuki's
can't
bad
believe he
side.
said that about his ancestors, man. That was messed up.
But I will say this about Minoru Suzuki.
Not
He
even
is like
his
this
family.
ultimate badass, like that just don't take shit from anyone on TV and stuff. But honestly, meeting him in person, dude, he seriously was one of the nicest guys ever. Like he's a really cool dude, very, down to earth, very appreciative of all his fans and stuff. And
Do you know why I asked about the fishing lures?
no, Shane, could you elaborate?
Because Minoru is a very big fisher in his free time. He loves to go fishing. So so a lot of times fans will buy and bring him some interesting or cool fishing lures.
I didn't know that.
Yep, for his collection.
That's very cool. But yeah, Minoru Suzuki, man, definitely he's, one of the legends of Japanese wrestling, and he's one of the coolest guys. And I think your streak is still alive.
He beat the shit out of fucking Asuka. That was wild, man.
That's my one biggest thing with Minoru Suzuki on AEW television is the chops are like really, really, really cool. But when Suzuki gets into a proper slap fight with somebody, that's the good stuff. Him versus Kota Ibushi during the pandemic.
Oh my god, dude. That was insane.
It was what was that? That was the that was the G1.
It was, I think it was one of the G1 Climax, something like that.
Dennis, have you seen that match?
I can't say that I have, or if I do, I don't. If I did see it, I don't remember.
It's oh god. I mean,
it's like the first 15 minutes almost is literally just like chops, forearms, and slaps to the face, like just going back and forth. Like I swear it was like it just went on and on. You're like, holy shit, dude! And then they finally started wrestling.
Well, yeah, well, no, because remember they like Suzuki slaps the piss out of him and then just gets up and walks out of the ring and then just goes and sits on the ramp.
So good. Man. It was so good.
Yeah.
But no, it's really, really cool, and stuff. So it's to meet one of the true legends of Japanese wrestling and stuff. It's an awesome thing to be able to do and stuff. So, but guys, we're over an hour here, and I know Shane's got to get to bed. I'm about ready to call it a night too and stuff. So, anything else you guys want to say, or?
Oh,
I think
Shane just said it right there.
I think, yeah, dude. Thank you. We love you. We love you. That's what we want to say. We love you.
Yes, and
all of you.
All of you. And you know what? I love you guys.
We love you, man.
Love you too, buddy.
Ooh, that was fun.
Oh, it's always such a nice time.
It was great.
I was looking all over for it and I couldn't find it. I don't know where I put it. But I was looking for my fucking mullet, and I was gonna bust out Trent to talk about November Rain.
Oh no!
Because I was like, I know someone
that would have ruined my.
So wait. You're breaking news. Trent wants to come on the show sometime.
Man, Trent doesn't need to come on the show.
Please, for the love of God, no. Anything like that.
I like Trent.
Trent is a character, man.
I don't know if there's much in this world that pisses me off more than old Trent.
Shane legitimately hates Trent more than fucking anything.
Sorry, bro. Legends of the Ring Sting, man. This is a great figure, old school figure. Looks great. It's Sting! Old school Sting from WCW. Guys, you know us, 3/4 of the Shooting Shit team, and we're here with a listener just like you guys. This is Jimmy from Super Powers Comics.
My friend of almost 20 years. He's known him since you were 12.
If you know people in Chicago, you probably know Dennis because he knows half the town, of course. But shooters, if you need action figures, comics, wrestling memorabilia, we just showed you Sting. Superpowers Comics will put up their QR code so you can get a good look at everything they have coming. Give it a shot, shooters. Get your superpowers on and get your comics from our friend Jimmy, who listens just like you.
Attention wrestling fans and fans of Shootin' Shit podcasts. You can now be one of the cool kids by going to ProWrestlingTees.com and buy the official Shootin' Shit t-shirt. Buy it now and be there at ringside.
This episode and all episodes of 5 Star Takes are now available on YouTube at www.youtube.com/@5StarTakes. Be sure to like and subscribe. Get all of your 5 Star Takes news and updates by going to our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/SHOOTINSHT. And as always, thanks for watching.